I'm Sam Mandez. I'm in the Colorado Department of Corrections, and I was placed in solitary confinement since I was 19.
Sam has been locked down in a cell for generally 23 out of 24 hours per day ever since 1997, which is over 16 years of his incarceration. He's been under very harsh conditions of confinement.
There's nothing for you to do over there but figure out how you feel about being in that cell all the time.
The best way I can describe solitary confinement is being buried alive. You understand everything going around you, but you can't do anything about it. You're helpless. You're trapped inside your head almost, like being in a coma. After 16 years, like you're a mess. The strongest mentality has some serious issues after that. Most people aren't that strong though. So yeah, you can break after a couple years. 16 years, I can't even fathom what that would be like.
I was provided with voluminous records to review, which included evaluations done when he was initially incarcerated in the reception center through the Colorado Department of Corrections. None of those records indicated that he was experiencing or suffering from a serious mental illness.
Solitary confinement is a depressing environment. It's an incredibly stressful environment. All of us have our identities grounded in our social interactions, our social relationships. When you take people out of that social context, it destabilizes them.
Unfortunately, I'm very familiar with this type of timeline. That is, someone comes into prison and looks relatively stable. Somewhere along the line in prison, they have breakdowns. What happens during the course of their time in prison is, rather than being rehabilitated, they're basically being severely damaged. This is a human rights abuse on the face of it. We've actually created the mental illness.
Sam has a chronic psychotic illness that is characterized by paranoid, delusional beliefs, grandiose beliefs, auditory hallucinations, and a thought disorder. He'll tell you in a very matter-of-fact way that he was a Green Beret when he was 12 years old, that he was the primary architect of Denver International Airport, that he has 11 children.
When we first met Sam, he was very distrustful of us. He didn't understand that we were trying to help him, or really why anyone would help him.
He's spent now probably close to half his life in solitary confinement. That changes a person.
So our first objective is to get him the mental health treatment that he needs. And the only way he can get that in prison is if the Department of Corrections provides it.
In Colorado and in the rest of the country, there are far too many prisoners locked up for far too long in these conditions of long-term isolation, deprived of any normal human contact. This form of incarceration is actually the most expensive. It does nothing to rehabilitate prisoners or prepare them for their return to society. And depriving someone of normal human contact for such a long time is also inhumane. That's why every court that's looked at this issue has held that for seriously mentally ill prisoners, these conditions of long-term isolation violate the Constitution's ban on cruel and unusual punishment.